My 33F husband, 30 meters, and I got married last week. I had been super chill throughout the whole wedding planning and during the actual event. Because I know /*G happens, and if anything goes wrong, or not exactly how we wanted, it's not that big of a deal, and may even make the wedding more memorable for the guests. The one thing that I told my husband I didn't want to happen was I didn't want him smashing cake in my face. I had a suspicion that he would find it funny to do it, so during the planning, I flat out told him not to do it. I don't think it's funny, I don't want to mess up my makeup that took hours to apply, and I don't want cake on my expensive wedding dress. I told him I would be livid if he did it. He promised that he wouldn't. Well, come the cake cutting time, what did he do? Smashed the cake in my face. It got on my dress and messed up my makeup, just like I knew it would. I'm pretty sure his friends convinced him to do it, not that that makes it any better. I kept it together, went and cleaned myself up, and put on a smile for the rest of the reception. But afterwards, I let loose on him. I yelled at him that this was the one thing I asked him not to do, and he promised that he wouldn't. He told me I was being dramatic, that it's not a big deal, and we should just be enjoying our time as newlyweds. So was I being overly dramatic? Eta? NTA. You don't do this one thing. Him does it you. Livid. Him, surprised Pikachu face. He wasn't even surprised. Him, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not apologizing. Don't ruin the fun, and let's just enjoy a honeymoon. NTA. You asked for one thing and he didn't listen. What he did was so disrespectful and sets the tone for the rest of your marriage. And he doubled down by saying you're being dramatic instead of apologizing. I'd be livid too. He also broke a promise. This is actually a pretty huge violation of trust. And he did this on such a big important day when she'd put so much time and effort into planning and understandably didn't want her nice makeup and expensive dress ruined. How difficult is it to honor one simple request? I'd be livid too. Not just about the cake, but about the broken trust and total lack of respect and his attempts to minimize the situation and her feelings after. He should be apologizing and owning his huge mistake, not trying to turn it around on her, like she's somehow at fault for being justifiably mad about it. NTA, op, and I'm pissed on your behalf. What worries me isn't that he did the cake smashing itself. It is his response back to you. He should have apologized and listened to you, and really realized his mistake. Instead, he diminished your very valid feelings and reasons. Has he apologized yet? For calling you overdramatic? NTA. This exactly. Even if his friends pressured him into doing it, which is a problem in and of itself, the fact that he showed zero remorse in private afterward is completely unacceptable. I would be seriously rethinking this marriage if I were Opus. You should made a scene honestly. NTA. And instead of apologizing telling you that he stands behind that action is honestly even worse. He does not reject it. He lied to you and did something he know would hurt your feelings and now tells you he still doesn't care. I honestly don't know where I would go from here. Therapy maybe? Petty me would just start to lie to his face about things, and if he gets angry, tell him to just enjoy himself and not to be so dramatic. NTA. What did he think was going to happen? That you'd be fine with it after making it very clear that you would not be fine with it? If you are not enjoying your time as newlyweds, it's entirely down to his behavior. Imagine having sex with this guy after that. He better be amazing in bed. Welcome to your future, ma'am. NTA. She married a dick. Good luck, girl. NTA. You married a child. Don't insult children like that. Many children are delightful. Op married an asshole. NTA. Bad start for him by disregarding your wishes and not respecting you. NTA. Why is cake smashing even a thing? No way. NTA. I also got married last week and I told my husband the same thing. It's a basic request and quite simple. It's not funny, not cute, and super disrespectful. He couldn't refrain from doing the one thing you asked him not to. You had one boundary and he broke it. He acted like a child and doesn't want to be called out on it, so he's saying that you are being dramatic. There's an R here, but it isn't you. NTA. For my wedding my hubs and I discussed that silly tradition too, and we both agreed it was stupid, but thought we should still give our guests a little enjoyment during that part. So we opted to instead feed each other our slice of cake. It was a sweet moment and made for really cute photos. No cake smashing involved. There was however a frosting mustache, haha. But a kiss or two took that off. And again the photos for that were adorable. Highly recommend it as an alternative for anyone out there with impending nuptials. I did this too. We even practiced beforehand. But flubbed it on the big date. It was pretty awkward. But much better than cake smashing. NTA. It's a dumb tradition that needs to go away. You asked for one thing and he couldn't respect that. Ugh. How did whole smashing cake thing ever get started? I don't remember it until the 70s when a friend of my sister got married and her husband smeared cake all over her face. Any documentation? This is a variant on the classic "it was just a joke" when the "but" of the joke is far from amused. Please consider an annulment. This jackass doesn't have enough empathy to realize the implications of the concept that you too are a human being. NTA. Yay, he wasn't the one who got cake smashed in his face. So of course he finds it funny. I'd have went home after cleaning myself. He could have his party with his friends. Your NTA. I've been with a guy who loves to smash cakes on birthdays. Once candles are blown and first piece is taken, he'd grab whole cake and smash it on birthday person's face. I hated it. He did it with me one time. For my next birthday I warned him against it. What did he do? He smirked and smashed cake on me. He was specially forceful and hurting, smearing buttercream on my hair very hard so to make it messy to clean up after, while smirking all the way. He found joy in it. That was my last birthday with him. He is 40 yo. Is it not too late for annulment? NTA. Was just thinking this. NTA op, but this is a huge betrayal. He had one job. NTA. You didn't want a trashy wedding, and you married someone who did. I hope this works out for you. I've never been to a wedding where the bridal couple smashed cake in each other's faces. Sounds dreadful. That's the thing. This was so out of character for him. He's normally so respectful to me, and always keeps his promises to me. That's what makes this so weird, and also why I think his friends talked him into it. NTA. You don't want cake shoved in your face, and that's legit. He specifically promised not to do that. I hope this was a one-off, because if it ain't, you're in for a long and difficult marriage. NTA. You are justified for being pissed and letting him know it. You have to ask yourself if this is a deal breaker for you. If it is, it's better to deal with this now. If it's not, just move on past it. If I was in a situation like this, though, being disrespected like this after specifically saying, do not do this, I would be looking into an annulment. Any so needs to respect the other's wishes and wants, whether they think it is a big deal or not. NTA. That was him showing you that you aren't allowed to have boundaries with him, and that his wants are more important than your wants. I'd be surprised if this is the only incident like this in your future. Asterisk HIS wants are more important than ops boundaries about her own body. NTA. I hate it when people do it on days. On weddings it's extra inappropriate. It's such an uncivilized thing to do. And then him dismissing your displeasure over it too. Yeah, he is a total R. NTA. It's y'all's wedding, and he's already showing red flags. Woo. NTA. What a horrible start to your marriage. I wonder what other statements/requests he'll ignore from Opus. NTA. He was a complete tool, and now after disregarding your feelings he decides to tell you that your feelings don't matter and that you have no right to be upset. You both need to figure out where you stand now. Never understood why any sane person would want to do something so spiteful to a partner. The tradition approach is an utter BS excuse. Same thing happened to my cousin. Groom thought it was funny. The marriage didn't last thanks to other things he thought were funny. NTA. Good luck, you are going to need it. This right here. This man sounds so annoying. NTA. But I have a feeling divorce is in the future. It's not a guarantee, but it always seems to correlate. Smash wedding cake w/o consent equals divorce. Wouldn't surprise me. My husband is a marriage and family therapist and he says successful couples respect each other's goals, values and boundaries. Seems like something is missing here when that's the only thing she asked for and gave reasonable thoughts for the request. NTA, and it's sad to see that one day into being married to you, and he's already disregarding your wishes on simple things and then calling you overdramatic for being rightfully upset about them. Not a great sign for things to come. NTA, maybe it's not too late to get the marriage cancelled,